Hello everyone, I wanted to start off going over the science projects that we did last week. So last week we were looking at evaporation. So I wanted to know all about evaporation. So what is evaporation? Where does it happen? And why is it important to us? So evaporation is when water turns from a liquid into a gas, and it happens at the surface of the water. So this is what helps to make clouds. So when water evaporates from the oceans or from lakes, it goes up into the air as water vapor. And then if you get lots and lots of water vapor together, then you get clouds that you can see in the sky. And so the rain, this will fall as rain from the clouds, which will help plants to grow and give us fresh water that we can drink. So the process of evaporation is really useful to us and everything that lives on Earth. So plants use evaporation to help pull water up from the soil and to pull nutrients up from the soil. With the water, can help us to dry clothes outside, and it can help us keep cool as well. So our body produces sweat, which is water, which comes to the surface of your skin, and the process of evaporation, as this sweat evaporates off your body, helps cool things down. So in other places where they don't have fridges and freezers, you can use water to keep things cool. So you can wrap things in wet newspaper and the process of evaporation will help keep them cool, or you can use big vessels which will help things keep cool inside using evaporation. So evaporation is really important to us. You can also see, if you want to see lots of steam and lots of water vapor coming off a liquid, you can boil water. So if you ask a grown-up to help you and boil water in a kettle, then you can see steam coming out the spout. And this is lots and lots of water vapor. So to get evaporation happening, we need energy. So the energy comes from heat here. So you heat the water up a lot, and then you get lots of evaporation. And in boiling, any tiny little bits of air which are caught inside the water form bubbles and get bigger and bigger. And evaporation happens at the surface of the water in boiling, but also inside all these bubbles which are happening when water is boiling too. So evaporation is a really important process to us. It can help us out with doing lots of different things. So now what we want to do is we want to do some experiments to find out about how evaporation works, how fast it is. So we've collected together lots of different sizes and shapes of bottles and pots. And last week what we were doing is, into each of these we're measuring out 100 millilitres of water. Now we're doing this in several ways. So we can either measure out 100 millilitres of water in a jug. So we get 100 mils, and then we can also use a set of scales to weigh the water. So if we put a pot on the scales and press 0 on it, and then we pour in 100 millilitres of water into here, what we should see is that 100 millilitres of water weighs the same as 100 grams. So this is quite useful. So if we want to fill up different size and shape pots, and put 100 mils of water in each one, and then think about what's important, what will evaporate more water. So what we did last week is we weighed out and measured out 100 millilitres of water into lots of different vessels, and we put them in different places. So we have different sizes and shapes. So we have these ones, which have really big hole at the top. So this should give us lots of surface area on that water. So hopefully with lots of surface area, we should get lots of evaporation. So this one's fairly clear, so we'll put this one on a windowsill so that the heat and light from the sun can help evaporate that. We also put this one on the windowsill too, so we weighed it at various points throughout the week. And we're going to see which evaporates faster. Water from a bottle, which has this white surface, so the white will help to reflect off sunlight and keep it cooler inside. And also it has a smaller surface area. So the top of this is smaller than the top of this big pot. So we're going to compare which one evaporates fastest. So when you're putting water into each of these, you can also, after you measured out water inside them, you can weigh this on your scales, and on the side of each tub, then you can just note down the weight that it is now. So during the week, you can keep a track of how much weight it loses on every day. And then some of them, we also use something which has a lid on it. So we put water inside these, and we weighed how much those ones were and wrote that down on the lid as well. And then this one, what I want to do with this one is put it in the fridge and see if evaporation happens faster or slower when it's somewhere nice and cool. So a fridge will be around about 4 degrees centigrade, whereas room temperature in here will be about between 18 and 21 degrees. So it's warmer in the room than it is in the fridge. Also tried putting one of the pots in the freezer as well. So another 100 mils in the freezer, in the same pot we're putting on the windowsill, put that one in the freezer. On this side of the house, and this windowsill gets lots of sunlight during the day, so I also weighed out some water and put it on the darker side, on the windowsill on the darker side of the house as well, see how fast that will evaporate. And then using some of the heavier pots, so these ones are glass, so you just got to be a bit careful with them that you don't drop them, but weighed out 100 mils into these, and I can put this one out in the garden to see if evaporation will happen fastest outside or inside. So as well as evaporation outside, there might be some other things which happen to these pots which have no lid on when you put them outside. So if we're putting in the sun, then they're exposed to more sun, but also to wind. So wind might help evaporation happen faster because it takes away the water vapour and has a drying effect on the surface of the water. So it might be that it happens faster, but also if it's outside, things can fall into it. So this one's been outside for a week and it's got some black bits in the bottom now which will fall inside. But if it rains, it might also fill up with rain faster. So we tracked its weight during the week, and the first half of the week it kept on losing a bit of weight when we reweighed it. But today it didn't lose any weight because last night there was a bit of rain, but a bit of evaporation as well. So I've got another one that I'm putting outside as well. So 2 different sizes and shapes which go in 2 different places in the garden. So I also did this with some boiled water. So got it going up to boil a kettle of water, measured out 100 millilitres of boiled water, put it in a pot because we wanted to know if the boiled water would evaporate faster than the cold water straight from the tap. So put these in different places, some in dark places, some in the light. So just remember where you put them all and let everyone know where you put the water before anyone stands on it or knocks it over. So we left them out for the week and then we came back and everyone tried to think which ones might evaporate fastest and which ones slower. And then you can keep weighing them in the week to find out which is fastest and slowest. And then at the end of that week, you can work out which ones have lost any water, if some have lost no water, and find out if ones which have the lid on, ones without the lid, ones which sit on the windowsill, ones which sit in the dark, evaporate fastest. And what we're also doing is everyone's planted a sunflower seed at school. So with our sunflowers, so anyone who's got a sunflower which is grown, every week we're going to, sorry, I'm just dropping my other plants. Every week we're going to measure our sunflowers and see how much they've grown. So last week, this was Lily's sunflower, which is inside. This measured 20 centimetres last week, and this week is gone up to 33 centimetres, and now it's got some really big leaves on top. So we repotted Lily's sunflower and put it in a bigger pot. There was some more compost, and it seems to have liked that. So this week it's grown a lot. So if anyone else has got a sunflower that they're growing, and then you want to put how tall your sunflower is each week on the Facebook page, and we can all check whose sunflowers growing fastest. And if anyone's got any amazing tips for how to make your sunflower grow fast, that'd be brilliant. Okay, so that was week 1 that we did.